The air in Central City hung heavy with hardship, a quiet tension embedded in every cracked sidewalk and dim street corner. Here, dreams often succumbed to struggle, but for 12-year-old Elijah Carter, there was no luxury of dwelling on what had been lost. Survival was everything. Malik Carter lived in a small, dilapidated rental home with his parents, Derek and Maria Carter. Once a diligent factory worker, Raymond had been the family's anchor until a sudden stroke robbed him of his strength, leaving him helpless and unable to work. The man who once effortlessly carried heavy loads now struggled even to lift a spoon, his words slow and fragmented. His mother, Vanessa, now bore the family's burdens. She worked long, exhausting shifts at Lola's Diner, returning home late at night with aching feet, yet always managing a weary smile from Malik, pretending exhaustion wasn't consuming her. Malik saw through the facade. The way she rubbed her temples when she thought no one was watching, how she stretched their meals to last one more day. He noticed the unpaid bills accumulating on the kitchen table, their edges curled from neglect, and he heard the anxious whispers his parents exchanged at night, worries they believed he couldn't hear. Malik knew things couldn't continue this way. Determined to help, he began looking for work. At 12 years old, there weren't many places willing to hire him, yet he persisted. Day after day, after school, he walked tirelessly, inquiring at corner stores, gas stations, anywhere that might offer a chance. The answer was always the same. You're too young. Try again when you're older. Until he found Lincoln Trust Bank. The grand building rose impressively in downtown Central City, its windows gleaming despite the overcast sky. It represented wealth and power, worlds away from Malik's reality. Yet when he noticed a help-wanted sign by the side entrance, he didn't hesitate. "I can clean," Malik told Mr. Thompson, the thin, gray-haired manager who barely glanced his way. "I just need a chance." Thompson studied Malik for a moment, then sighed. "Night shifts only. Stay out of trouble. Do your job. And don't touch anything that's not yours." "Got it." "Yes, sir," Malik replied quickly, his heart pounding with relief. Thus began Malik's new job, sweeping floors, emptying trash cans, wiping desks. It wasn't much, but each dollar earned eased his mother's worries, and every hour spent working was one less she had to exhaust herself finding extra shifts. His first night at the bank was eerily quiet, the bustling daytime energy replaced by silent emptiness and the glow of security lights reflecting off polished floors. Malik worked diligently, aware that every minute mattered. Despite the fatigue, he felt a quiet pride knowing he was helping his family, taking a chance most kids his age wouldn't dream of. But Malik had no idea how drastically this modest job would change his life. The afternoon sun streamed through the tall windows of United Trust Bank, illuminating the sleek marble floors. Employees and customers went about their routine business, oblivious to the storm brewing just outside their doors. Malik was pushing a mop near the supply closet, starting his afternoon shift. He'd mastered blending into the background, working efficiently without attracting attention. But today was different. Suddenly, heavy footsteps crashed through the entrance. 6 masked robbers burst into the lobby, rifles raised. Their leader, a towering figure in black named Carson Hayes, commanded attention immediately. "Nobody move. Hands up now." Carson barked, his voice slicing through the panic that erupted around him. A gunshot fired into the ceiling silenced everyone, shards of plaster cascading onto the floor. Malik instinctively slipped into the supply closet, heart racing, his breath shallow. Through a narrow gap, he watched in fear as the robbers swiftly took control, forcing customers to the floor, dragging tellers away, and incapacitating a security guard with brutal efficiency. "We're here for a government ransom, not your wallets," Carson announced coldly. But anyone thinking about being a hero, he pointed his rifle threateningly at an elderly woman, Mrs. Evelyn Morris, who clutched her purse in terror, "will regret it." Malik's fist tightened. He couldn't fight armed men physically, but something inside urged him to act. "I have to do something," he whispered, determination solidifying his resolve. Malik's mind raced as he crouched in hiding. He lacked physical power, but possessed a quick, resourceful mind. Remembering earlier sightings of FBI agents in the bank, he decided he needed to find them. Navigating quietly, his heart hammering in his chest, Malik discovered two FBI agents bound at gunpoint in a secluded office. Carefully slipping inside unnoticed, he gestured silently to keep quiet, then worked to release them, relying on instincts he'd only seen in movies. Freeing them swiftly, Malik signaled one agent, who quickly called for backup via his hidden radio. Time was critical. Malik needed a distraction. He triggered the bank alarm, sending the robbers into disarray. In the ensuing confusion, Malik toppled a stack of files, scattering papers and causing further chaos. The FBI agents took advantage immediately, tackling the robbers and signaling for backup. Amid the confusion, Malik slipped away, catching his breath behind a desk. Yet, his safety was short-lived. Carson Hayes, enraged, grabbed Malik roughly, pressing his gun to the boy's forehead. "Well, look here, a tiny hero causing big trouble," Carson sneered maliciously. Defiant yet terrified, Malik steadied his voice. "If you hurt me, the FBI will never let you walk away. But let me go, and maybe you can still cut a deal." Malik's words struck a chord. Carson hesitated, distracted just enough for an FBI agent to take a decisive shot, striking Carson's shoulder and sending his weapon flying. Chaos erupted as officers took control, subduing the robbers one by one. An agent helped Malik, praising his bravery. Evelyn Morris approached, grasping Malik's trembling hands, calling him a hero. Surrounded by sirens and flashing lights, Malik felt overwhelmed, yet relief surged through him. The nightmare was finally over. The next morning, life changed again. Richard Morris, Evelyn's son and owner of United Trust Bank, arrived at Malik's humble home, bringing astonishing news. He handed the Johnson family documents, granting them ownership of a comfortable, mortgage-free home. Furthermore, Malik's mother would no longer have to struggle tirelessly, and Malik himself was awarded a full scholarship through college. Malik stood stunned, emotions overwhelming him as his parents, eyes filled with newfound hope, absorbed this life-changing generosity. Richard smiled warmly, saying sincerely, "Malik, your courage saved innocent lives. You've earned this." Malik could barely whisper, "Thank you." Outside his new home later, Malik sat reflecting. His mother hummed contentedly in the kitchen, and his father finally smiled genuinely, exploring the home without the heavy burden of financial worry. Reporters gathered, eager for interviews, but Malik felt no need to justify or explain. He hadn't sought recognition or rewards. He'd acted because it was right. As the sun faded, Malik stood, feeling genuine hope for his family's future. The struggle wasn't entirely over, but for the first time, Malik believed they could finally breathe easier. His quiet courage had brought change, not just for him, but for everyone he loved. Central City might still bear scars of struggle, but for Malik and his family, hope had finally returned.